All right. Um, Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're online, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Um, well, of course, today is the Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you guys have some plans and all, have a little fun. It's been a long time we had fun, so um, I want to share this. This is pretty cool, actually. So one of my student, who is from Kansas City, I actually teach him almost every week. Guess whose neighborhood?
Okay.
His neighbor is Patrick Mahoney. So, and I heard he bought a new Lamborghini. I'm asking to give it to me, of course, but that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Again, if you're in the advanced group, you got to join the advanced group. This is the regular group. Last call. Okay. So, whoever you're supporting wins, there's only 50% chance of losing or winning. Um, Lauren, she's going to teach today. She just got into University of Michigan's admission, so it's been very hard this year. So she just got deferred from Harvard and accepted in UMich. So if you see her, congratulate her. We had her brother is in U Michigan, right? University of Michigan. Henry took our classes as well. But this year has been tough. Has been tough. We had one Stanford, one Dartmouth, one UMich, one ginormous scholarships. Of course, some huge scholarships, but nothing. We'll see what happens. Okay. I hope you guys are doing the homework. So is there anybody who has not done the homework so far? Okay, good. I'm liking it. Today we're going to start with, we're going to continue with science. Last week we talked about the strategies. Today we're going to get into the passages. People who did not attend last week, I hope you have watched the videos. Open page 808 in the orange book. And I'm going to explain how it's going to go today, so you have an idea. Of course, you guys can ask any questions and stuff like that. Page 808. At the top of the 808, you guys wrote a number, right? A code. I believe it was 5, what was that? 5, 7,
2, 3, 6, 4, 1.
5, 7, 2, 3,
6, 4, 1.
6, 4, 1. Okay. This is how it's going to work today. We're going to do passage 5. Okay? And I know we've not talked about how to do the questions. But I'm going to use, I'm going to kind of retro and teach you guys that. Only passage Y, okay? In the science test, you cannot use calculators. So if there is a calculator during the test, you are considered cheating and you'll be disqualified. 7 of my students in the last 13 years have been removed from the class just because they had the calculator on the desk. One of them actually ended up getting a 34 in English, math, and science. English, math, and reading, and walked out of science. So, be careful, okay? After the math is done, put it away. Are you guys cool? All right. How many questions are in passage 5?
5.
And remember how many seconds you get per question? 52.5 seconds. So, of course, today is the first time. So, we're going to go 5 questions, 5 minutes. But if you're done early, you just let me know and I'll show you how much time you took. Passage 5, everybody. Go to passage 5. No, passage 5. There you go. You guys cool? Online students, you cool? You have 5 minutes max Your time starts now. Go. 5 minutes. Of course, time goes really fast, you can imagine that. What's the average I've seen for this passage historically? Between 3 and 3.5 minutes. Okay? I gave 5 minutes because this is the first time we are doing it. Now, before we get started with the answers and stuff, this is where I want to talk about strategies. In passage 5, question number 23, it says, according to figure 1. When they say according to figure 1, the answer is in figure 1, nowhere else. And if you try doing anything else, you're going to waste time and you may be misled by plausible answers. You with me on this? Second, how many ended up reading the passage first and then starting the questions? 1, 2, 3, 4. Question is, do you have to read the passage? I don't think so. You with me on this? They know you have less time, so they want you to strategize how you can do it without actually having to read it. There are sometimes you may have to end up reading. I'm not denying that, but the chances are less. So when I say according to figure 1, do I have to really need to know anything else? No, I don't. Read, write on. Read when required. Write on in your notes. Continue your notes from last week. Huge point. I wanted to talk about this last week, but now's the time. Read when required. Sounds good? Second point, when it says according to figure 1, only look into figure 1. The one more suggestion I have is, if this is figure 1, you can read a little bit above, a little bit below if you want to. You with me on this? But the answer will be in figure 1. They know time is less, that's why they're telling you where the answer is. Sounds good? Question number 24, it says, according to the information in the passage. So, those are the questions which needs a lot more information to answer. I would skip it. Because I don't know what the passage is about, because I didn't read it. But there's no harm skipping it. Because by the time you do all other questions, you would have actually had an idea what the passage is about. Sounds good? Next, this is something I'm going to be very intentional starting this semester. Listen to this very carefully. When you're doing a passage, answer all the questions in the passage. 23, 24, 25, okay? Once the passage is done, then go ahead and bubble. You with me on this? Except for the last passage, because you're running out of time. You with me on this? Because what's going to happen is, you answer 23, you go bubble in. 24, bubble in. You're actually losing focus every single time you go back and forth. Sounds good? Right on. Answer first. Complete the passage. Answer first. Complete the passage. Then bubble in. Except for last passage. Except for last passage. Remember last time we talked about, are we looking for the correct answer or the best answer? Best answer, not the correct answer. So out of the 4, 1 is better than the remaining 3. That's what you're going to pick. I'm going to read out the answers. So I'm going to be This is a strategy I've changed how we teach science now. Usually we went through all the strategies, then started with the passage. This, we're gonna take passage by passage, talk about the strategies, and where and when required, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna fix it as well. 23 to 27, I'm gonna read the answers. B, F, B, H, C. I'm going to repeat. B, F, B, H, C. If you want me to do any questions, tell me now. Yes.
25.
Okay. Hold on. 25.
24.
20? Sorry?
24.
24. Okay.
23.
Not 20. Okay. That has actually, okay, we'll talk about it. All right. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna actually talk about 23, not the answer, but I wanna talk about some process here, something you guys need to know. Again, this is something I usually don't teach in the first two classes, but I think time has come to teach. All right. Listen to this. There is a process in ACT and SAT called equate, also called equating. All right, let's talk about question number 23. According to the data from question 23, they considered the question 23 is an easy question. Okay? Now, so every question from 1 to 40 in science will be equated, okay? So, let's say this is question 23, and they think it is so easy that if you make a mistake, you're gonna get a negative point, a small negative, called negative fudge factor. So, every question gets equated to a baseline of this. So, 1, if it's hard, you're gonna get points. 2, if it's easy, you're gonna go back. Every question gets equated so that according to ACT and SAT, doesn't matter what science test you take, you should get the same score. Of course, the reality is not like that. So 23, for example, you make a mistake, you may not get a 35 in science, you may get a 34, because you may have lost a little bit more than that. Sounds good? All right, now, what I'm gonna do is, this is the standard, how it's gonna go. So I'm gonna work on the mistakes, okay? You guys will start with the next passage, okay? Then we're gonna finish the mistakes you asked for, then we're gonna keep going. So I'll be always lagging by one passage. Fair enough? All right, what's the next passage we have to go?
I think 7.
7. 7 has how many questions?
1, 2.
Should be 7.
Yeah.
All right. You will have 6 minutes. All right, hold on. Again, I'm going to give full 6 minutes. Okay? Use it. Even if you're done early, use it. Time starts now. All right, time's up. Now let's go to 23, 24, and 25 first. Again, this is the same protocol. Every time we do science, this is how I teach. Now, I'm gonna ask you the question, what was your answer? What was your answer, again, for 23?
Yeah, the primary passage.
Passage 5?
Yep. I said D because like the sphincter muscle covered the whole thing. So if
The sphincter muscle is on the side. The two layer, that's the muscle.
oh, okay.
How many wrote that answer? I've seen that answer before. So it's right in the center, right? Okay. Does that make sense? And I want you guys to ask questions. This is going to be a rule. Don't bore me down, okay? So if there's something, if you're understanding, good. If not, ask. Yeah.
Is the mouth and the what was that? The part?
The pharynx.
Yeah, the pharynx.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that part of the base, or?
The base is where the gastrovascular cavity is there. That's the base.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 24. According to information in the passage, the sea anemone benefits from the presence of. Now, go to paragraph 2. And that's how I find the answer, okay? That's what it is. Most anemones share a symbiotic relation with marine algae called whatever it is. That's your, then these are photosynthetic organisms whose waste products are food source for sea anemone. The sea anemones also enjoys a mutualistic relationship with clownfish. So it basically has a relation of clownfish and zooxanthial, whatever. No wonder I don't like botany. Does that make sense? Who asked 24? Somebody asked 24. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, whoever asked that question, you guys need to respond to that. 25. Which of the following statements about the sea anemones is supported by the passage? The sea anemone most resembles. Actually, when I did this question, it looks like a flower. The picture it is. So I picked flower, but I wanted to just not assume anything. So look at the first line. It says, sea anemones look like plants. So that was a hint for me. Of course, it doesn't look like a rock, marine algae, or clownfish. What was your answer?
I put clownfish. I don't know.
But it has a relation with clownfish.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like clownfish. That's why they gave it as an answer choice A, because you're going to be trapped in that one, because they have seen that name. Okay. So question number 23 had negative fetch factor. 24, 25 were zero, like zero baseline. That means it's not going to help you or hurt you. 26, 27 were also the same thing. So, yeah. So usually, the next thing I want to talk about in the science. So when the first passage starts, in every passage, the first question is usually the easiest in science. Every passage. Is it always? No, there are exceptions, but that's a trend. So as you go from first question to the last question in a passage, usually it kind of increases. So within a passage, there is a linear relationship between the easy and the difficult. Of course, I've seen a lot of variations where I've seen this happen a lot. So it goes like this, then shoots up. I've seen this too, where third and fourth question are very difficult. So there can be 5 questions, 6 questions, or 7 questions in a passage. Sounds good? All right. I'm gonna try my hardest this time to get to the basics of how do you do a science passage, okay? We're gonna spend a lot of time on that one. I want you guys to be good at recognizing. Passage 7, question number 34 to 40, and here are the answers. H, A, J, A, G, D, and last one, G. Questions? Yes.
35 and 38.
35 and 38.
Question for, what'd you get for 36 and like 36 through 39?
The answers?
Mm-hmm.
JAGD. Anybody else has any other questions?
40.
Huh?
40.
40. Okay.
39.
39. So I have 35, 38, 39, and 40. Okay? What's the next passage you guys are supposed to do?
2.
Question number 2. How many questions are there?
4.
Okay, those days are gone. You'll never see a passage with 4 questions. Okay? You'll see a passage with 5 is the minimum nowadays. Alright? Passage 2, everybody. 4 questions. I'm gonna give you as 4 minutes. Your time starts now. So anybody joining late, we are on Orange Book. Orange Book, page number 810, 810, passage 2, science. Please get started. And make sure everybody's on mute, please. All right, let's go to those questions first. We're gonna go to question number 35. Question number 35 is actually has what's called a positive fudge factor. That means if you get that correct, you actually will get some positive points actually, because they think it's difficult. They think it's here. So they will add some points. All right, now, based on the passage, which of the following best represents oxygen levels in one of the Great Lakes during the spring season? Okay, right in the middle of the paragraph, I do not know how you, if you can follow me here. So from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-ish line, okay? I'll be there, somewhere in the middle, okay? I'm gonna read this. In the absence of this thermal layering, wind continues to mix the water to a greater depth, bringing oxygen to the bottom of the lake and nutrients to the surface. This results in a relatively even distribution of oxygen throughout the lake. Do you see that one? What it means is, all right, look at this. If this is the lake, okay, and okay, actually let's do this. If this is the lake, this is the surface, this is the bottom, whether it's you're here, 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 or here, the oxygen remains the same. You with me on this? So if you look at the graphs, people usually pick C as the answer. How do you pick C? 1, 2, 3. Look at you're not looking at the units. That's how they got you. You are saying as at a certain depth you have different concentration of oxygen. It's flipped. A is the answer. At 0 feet, 0 meters, 5 meters, 15, it's always going to be 6 milligrams per liter of oxygen. Sounds good? So, when you have a constant concentration, irrespective of depth, so the graph looks more like a vertical line. That means whether you're in the top or at the bottom, the concentration of the oxygen is constant. It's not changing. Make sense? If this is like this, this means at a certain depth, you have different concentration. Of course, that really doesn't mean much. Okay? Okay. Who asked me? Does that make sense? Okay. 38. And actually, I can answer 38 and 40 together. Okay? They are on the same concept. A small inland lake fed by a fast-flowing river, that's a keyword, fast-flowing river, was found to have very little thermal stratification. Based on the passage, this is most likely because, go back to the paragraph, last bottom, it says, the stability of the lake's stratification depends on several factors: lake's depth, shape and size, as well as the wind, and both the inflow and the outflow of the lake water. Lakes with a lot of water flowing in and out do not develop consistent stratification. Sounds good? Answer is gonna be in the passage. Very rarely you'll have to go have to answer something that's not there. Very rarely, but it's usually there. Look at question 40 now. That's what they are asking. According to the passage, the stability of the thermal stratification depends on all of the following, except in that list, the seasonal turnover is not even listed. That's the one. I think you asked 40. Who has 38? Yes. Make sense? Okay. 39 had a negative fudge factor. Who has 39? You asked? Who has 39? Somebody online?
I did.
Okay. Look at figure 1. Look at figure 1. As you go from the top to the bottom, the temperature is going 22, 20, 18, 9, 8, 6, 4. It is decreasing. Right? That had a negative fudge factor. 35 had a positive fudge factor. Now, so far we have done 2 passages. Did anybody get all correct?
I did on the last one, or the one that we just went over.
No, the passage 5 and 7 combined.
I got them all right.
And who was that?
Catherine Mickelson.
Good, Catherine. 1 wrong. 2 wrong. 2 here.
Jack Henricks.
Okay. Alright, of course today is the first day. It happens. Okay? We gotta be practicing a lot. And I wanna be very honest and blunt about it. Science passages are getting really hard. Okay? I heard yesterday's test was easy, but they got lucky. Passage 2, guys. 8 to 11. GD JA. Questions? Yeah.
10.
10.
Can you repeat them?
Okay. GD JA. All right. Go to open your math packet, please. I would be happy if I'm at 3 or 4 passages for every time we meet. Okay. I would like you to read page 7, page 7 and 14. Because you cannot move forward without knowing what we have learned already. You cannot keep forgetting those. Okay. I would like you to write the formula of interior angle, exterior angle, and diagonals in your notes as part of your practice. Just write down. When you write it, you'll remember it. Interior, exterior, and diagonals.
is cool.
We saw, we went snorkeling and we saw, which wave it is? We saw a wave, 40 feet. My son, that was his first time snorkeling, scared the Jesus out of him.
It's huge.
And it was actually taking care of his baby. It was like what we see in TV. You have no freaking
It's
clue.
bigger.
One part of the fin, just okay, what was it? Its right fin was almost this big.
Like as big as the room?
Yeah, literally. I'm not kidding. It's like
I was scared.
the water was so quiet. Oh my god! I forgot what's the name of the whale.
Blue?
Oh shit. Blue whales go to 80, 70, 80 feet. I would take a ride on that one because it doesn't hurt you. It's like a plane. VIP seating. See, I miss these things when when it last 1 year it's all online. Face to face is fun. All right, let's go to question 10. In question 10, third paragraph, there is a line. It says radon is colorless and odorless, and the levels are constantly changing from one area to the next, from one day to the next. It's always changing. And I actually want to talk about my own experience. Of course, some people know I taught undergrad chemistry for a long time. I still teach sometimes. And we just bought a house 2 months back. One part of the dunes to the another part of the Dakota dunes. So as part of the inspection, they checked for radon because dunes is known to have radon. And it was, so you can see the numbers they have given, right? 2, 4 and stuff. Ours was at 4.2. So as part of the contract, we told the owners, if you want to sell it, you got to fix it. So in the basement, they put a fan. The fan is on the surface, on the roof. It sucks the air constantly. So within 15 days, it had gone to 1.5. So radon is going to be there, and of course I teach nuclear chemistry as well. Radon is going to be everywhere. I can guarantee radon is right here. It's not. It's the question is how low it is. Sounds good. Anything about 5, 6, you're looking at a higher. Anything about 10 for sure, you're going to have, especially if you're a pregnant woman, if you have a baby, and if you have an unfinished basement, it's going to add up really fast. And it can take 5-10 years to show the effect, but it's going to start right away. Sounds good? So radon is a radioactive natural gas. You can smell it, you can see it. Okay? Little chemistry. All right, so we did 3 passages today. I was planning to do 4, but it's okay. We want to take your time. Let's go to, no, oh shoot, it's already 150. So, do you know how many classes we had so far? We had 4.